Hello, and welcome to another Industry Live Tuesday. I'm ThatKimberly, and this is.
Sochi and Carlo.
I never point in the right direction, so
Nope.
I just always seem to mess that one up and never. But I'm kind of like, okay, it's all right. I was trying to multitask and send out a "Hey, we're live, folks! Come join us" at the same time because according to social media, it's good for us to do, but. I will skip that, but just thanking everybody for joining us for another Industry Live Tuesday. We are going to be chatting about mental health. We're going to be screaming it through the rooftops. This won't be the last conversation we have around mental health. There'll be many of them. So we're going to have another one today, and we appreciate you. So just want to tell you that we are live on Facebook, or the Facebook, like I like to say. My business page, Deb's page, or her personal page, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Twitter. So anywhere you're watching us, please, if you got a question, leave a comment below. Tell us what you do for your mental health. And if you don't do anything for mental health, whatever. And if you watch us on the replay, make sure you put hashtag replay and tell us where you watched it from. So we're here every Tuesday at 10:30 Central Standard Time. So if you hit the follow or subscription wherever you're watching, then you'll get the notification when we come on live. So thank you again. We appreciate you. Oh, I probably should have thrown up some of our, here's where you can watch there's one. I need to remember these things. We're going to, ladies, you're going to get practice on doing this in the future. I promise you that. But yeah, let's go to our topic on what we do for mental health. Carla, you want to kick us off?
I do. So, I love this topic. I know we all on here love to talk about this, especially because I feel like there's such a stigma around it. I know we talked about why and our backgrounds, and a lot of it has to do with culture and just societal norms and what people deem normal. But I think it's so important to talk about it, and also understand that it's a very real thing, and what we're doing about it personally. And then we'll go into a little bit. I do want to share just things that I do, things that maybe our companies in the past have done to help with, providing mental health, and maybe programs that they do provide for their employees. But for me personally, I find that just having a routine is important, right? In the morning. So I remember also reading this, Caroline Ferguson. If you are listening or listen on the replay, I'm giving you a shout out here. She posted
Caroline
something.
Ferguson, yes.
Yeah, she posted something on Instagram the other day about having a routine and just waking up in the morning, having her coffee, and in a mug, in like a breakable mug, which was so amazing. It resonated with me a lot because that's what I do. So in the morning, I get up in the morning. First thing I do after I let out my dogs is have a cup of coffee in a mug and do my devotional. Works for me. I say a little bit of prayers and stuff like that. And then I kind of go on my day. Doesn't take a long time. It's not something that, I take an hour for or whatever. But it's something that just kind of sets the pace for my day, and it helps me to start my day in a positive way. So that's what I do. I think the routines are super important, whether that's in the morning or whether that's maybe when you go to bed at night. Yeah. So I think either or is super helpful.
All the gurus say that first thing in the morning, setting your routine, setting your intentions, all those different things are very, very important, because you wake up. I don't know if you've ever seen one of those videos where people talk about if you hit your toe first thing in the morning, and it's just like ripple effect of negative, instead of shaking it off and be like, or, something like, it puts you down a spiral of just on the edge or not in such a great mood. Yeah. So
exactly right.
It is something that routine is very important. And I get up and have tea. I'm trying to cut back on my coffee. So I, write in my journal. I do some breathing. Becky Lord, thank you very much. She says, breathing 100 deep breaths a day.
Yeah.
Breathing is important. I do have to remind myself all the time
Breathing
to
is important. Yeah.
breathe before I do, like when something gets me amped or upset, to breathe and let it and push it out. Like that I find helps a lot. And then because before I respond to an email or I say something or take an action, if I felt like that might have triggered me in some way, I
Yes.
make sure that I just breathe.
Yeah.
And then, and watching funny movies. Like if I've had a rough day, I have to put something on that I absolutely
To
know, like,
offset.
yes, like Horrible
Yeah.
Bosses is one that I used to Secret Life with Pets. I don't know, like Sochi.
love
What do you
that.
do? What do you do?
Put any Adam Sandler movie.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
Because I put it on repeat. I love it. That's one of my favorite movies.
Yeah.
But going back on, how you guys were mentioning how you start your day, or like you, Kim, you were saying, there's certain things that can just, continue to make your day, worse.
Mhm.
So for me, having good sleep is important because I'm
Oh, yeah.
a big grouch.
In the morning.
Not getting good sleep or waking up and I'm like, I don't have enough sleep.
Yeah.
But since my mind goes 100 miles per hour, and we were just talking about it, don't overthink. I do
Yeah.
overthink
Yeah.
a lot. So I sometimes, well, actually in the morning, I either listen to really funny podcasts, like comedians when they're talking, because sometimes they talk about serious things, but sometimes they could just be comedians and just start laughing about
Make
things.
you laugh.
Music and music makes me dance. So I'm
Yeah.
in the bathroom and I'm just getting ready, putting on makeup and just dancing. So that's actually what I did before I hopped on here. It's great. Yeah, it gets me pumped up and excited to just
It's music. I mean, there's science behind that. There's science behind the music and the mood and how it can change. There's a woman, Mel Robbins. She has a book. She has two books that are really good. One that I am almost finishing is the 5-second rule, or 5-second habit. And then the other one is a high five habit, 5 seconds. And then the high five habit. And she talks about the looking for the positives. So that if you do, like, say, if you stub your toe, if you just like shake that off and don't focus on that, you can definitely change your mindset so that you can focus on the rest of the positive stuff. But that's great. Music. My mom wouldn't get out of bed the other day. She's 75 years old. And she's like, she wanted to just sleep. She has dementia / they've just recently said it's Alzheimer's. I don't believe them. Different story. But point being is that when I turned on Chubby Checker, the twist, she was twisting in her bed. Like she was amped to get up, and then, getting her in the shower, because she always fights about getting her up. Her caregiver wants to get her in the shower, and we put that twist music on, and I'm like, show me, Mom, show me how to do the twist.
Everyone has that one, that's just one thing. For me, it's either let's start off the day funny, let's start off the day with laughs, and let's stay happy, positive. And then from there is just gonna move forward from there. So
absolutely. What are some things with companies that you guys have seen that is different, or that you wish either you were involved in, or you wish you could have been involved in? I can say Google's sleeping pods were one that I wish I'd never been at.
Amazing. I know. I saw that. I don't know where I saw that. I was watching, I don't know if it was a documentary or something about that. They have the sleeping pods at their campus. And I was like, you know what? I could take a nap at any time of day. So
I'm a sleeping pod under my desk. My sleeping pod is under my desk.
I need one.
Just 20 minutes, 15, and I'm good to go.
It would be my car. I'll be like,
lunch
break. Okay, let me squeeze in a little nap.
I mean, just 10, 15 minutes will completely.
It will go far. It will go far.
All you need is a quick little snooze, reset your brain. It's the same thing that's why doctors, therapists talk about meditation, because even if you can clear your mind, or any kind of health coach talks about giving that 10 minutes of breathing to and sitting still to clear your mind, to and that's what sleep does. I say that I meditate, but I lay down, either most of the time face forward and like this, and breathe, and I listen to music and somebody, speaking in the background that I enjoy their voice, and it just helps me clear my mind, So it's definitely.
I think for me,
what company?
I was talking to Deb about this last time we had the mental health live, about just, how the pandemic changed a lot. I think it was really important, of course, to just be flexible in just everything with companies and what they can do for us. Yeah. So, the fact that we were able to work at home remotely, and we were provided all the tools that we needed so that we can work effectively. I know the last company that I worked for even had, they even had like a kids day where, we would call our kids were our coworkers at the time we were saying that. So they had this thing where they would bring in a guest, character, it would be Elsa, or it would be, it would be a
that's
superhero.
Cool.
And so, things like that, where I think it's important for us mentally to disconnect from not having all that pressure of, at the time, pandemic and, personal things, and not seeing everyone's face. So different things like that was put into place. And I think, we all ended up seeing, let's keep that and let's keep it going. And I have been seeing some of, those things being taken into place even now. So I don't know, Carla, if you changed anything from, the pandemic, or maybe kept something from.
I did. I actually really love my job and my role. I think for that very reason is because I get to set that tone for my teams. And so one thing that at least Portico, my company, I love so much about them is they definitely value your mental health. They value work-life balance, which is super important. And they give me that, leeway to be able to establish that within my own, region. And then even, other regional managers that are working closely with. So one thing that I definitely do, where I actually started during the pandemic, I know we all of us in this industry struggled with delinquency. So that was a big thing. We're still kind of trying to crawl our way out of it. But one thing that I did was I got my assistant managers together every quarter. I mean, I'm still doing it. I think I skipped the last quarter.
Because those are the people who collect the rent, right?
They're the ones who collect the rent. They're the
everyone
ones
who doesn't know.
the worst reputation on property. And they're the ones that are stressed out because they're literally having to meet a goal that sometimes can be, especially through a pandemic and moratoriums and eviction halts, and
they have no control. They have no control over that.
And control.
I was an assistant manager for a very long time when I worked on site, and the stories that you hear,
it's incredible.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
Well, and they hear, you guys hear these stories as well, and you're like, do I believe them? Do I not? Because I get frustrated as a renter. I'm a double agent. I'm in the apartment business and I'm a renter, and it bothers me when I know that my neighbor is lying or not following the rules, because I know that makes it bad on the on-site team, right? It's harder on them, and it's frustrating to me. And then it's also frustrating when I hear the on-site teams that don't have, you can tell their mental health. I think to myself, and I say this even for the restaurant service business, if you no longer like people or serving the people the industry that you're in that pays your bills, you need to get out, because it's just going to eat that negativity. If you don't find a way to release it and let it go,
you don't want to bring it home.
It sure does.
No.
So we get together every quarter.
Awesome.
An hour and a half, and it's outside of the office. I named it because I love coffee, of course. It's an ACM coffee talk, and all we do is just, how was your day? Anything important going on in your life? Anything? They don't get together. They don't get to talk to each other a lot. Right. They don't get to share best practices a lot. So that relief is just important for them.
Yeah. I think that's really important also. Just knowing that other people are going through what you're going.
Yes.
And it's like, I just had, prospect residents that, we went through that, and this is, and then not just that, but you can take away, maybe someone didn't know how to handle, like, I'm just for personal experience, a certain way. And then you get it from other peers and you're like, I actually had that same case. I actually handled it this way or move forward this way, so that when you go back, you can put that into place and take what everyone told you and kind of move forward that way.
Yeah. And then also celebrating those wins, right? Like, like I do also understand that they get beaten. The on-site team now get more than ever because of online, those reviews, that one negative review can just, like, it just floors me when people have nothing better to do with their time than to just beat down, on reviews. It's like, okay, let's, and then when the manager or whoever the company is tries to communicate that with them and make it right, they just don't give them the opportunity. So celebrating more of, like, not trying to fix that. Yes. Because
and then that goes hand in hand with employee retention. You want to like nowadays, when we go to restaurants, we have to be patient when we go, and just knowing how to coach that person, don't just, see both sides, try to understand each other.
Seek to understand.
Exactly.
Seek to understand. Exactly. And the more we do that, this took a long time for me to seek to understand, and it's because it's work, it's process. It's not, you don't wake up one day and, it's all rainbows and unicorns, because I love me some unicorns. I would,
our Sumper's motto, we have a couple, is progress, not perfection. And I tell that, hashtag progress, not perfection. So I love saying those, progress, not perfection in my head. And just like you said, Kim, celebrate small wins, it's take task by task, and then from there say, hey, I did it, and I'm pretty sure this, or you said this to yourself, Carla, work is going to be there the next day. Just
is.
And then it continues to pile up. So just how much you can get done within that day. Try to prioritize, organize yourself. And that, at least for me, is what helps me not get so stressed out at work. And then always make sure that you're having fun in some way. Make sure you're having fun.
I mean, you can be serious, you can be professional and be upbeat and have fun. It's not, like having to be over the top. But the thing about COVID that I really appreciate that brought us all together is that we are talking about mental health. We are talking about how important it is, because it affected everyone in one shape or form. Even for those like, oh, I was fine, I loved it, I don't have any mental health, whatever.
They didn't know until the end, I think. And
like, but you just, you don't know until you're put into that situation, right? You don't know until something triggers you that you're like, oh shit, where'd that come from? I've never acted like that
100%.
You have to be aware, be self-aware, and seek to understand, like we were talking about before. Good for Portico, because there are studies, like, your founder reads a lot of books, shout out Darren, and there are studies about companies that when their employees are healthy and they thrive and they enjoy and they're being appreciated and they're being shown that they're appreciated, how people flourish. I mean, why does that's why Google has sleep pods and all the things that they have on site. They also have that because people will stay at work and work longer. But there is science, there's mind science where they don't worry about getting their laundry done. They don't worry about getting their haircut done because Google provides that for them, right? Like those are perks that nowadays it's important. People don't just care about money anymore, right? Everybody cares about something different, and mental health is up there.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And I think it just goes to what you were saying, to the point, like, where if companies don't start focusing on this, like that's why you see, I think, a large part of the great, what was it called? The Great Resignation. That's why you see that, so now you're seeing a shift in company cultures where culture is the focus. Like, yes,
Yeah.
I know that salary is important, but culture right now kind of trumps
it really
salary,
is.
I think, for a lot of people. So
and everybody knows you can leave for just, you know, any little thing. So I think also checking in on somebody is very important, and not just, oh, how are the numbers looking? Are you gonna you know, checking in on them personally? Hey, what are you gonna go through? It makes that person feel so amazing. And don't forget about it next week. You know, hey, how's this going? Is this going better? Is there anything that I can do to make your job easier? And I feel that the employer that I have now, they do that all the time on our check-in.
Awesome.
You know, which is something that's really important to me. I feel valued, and I feel that everyone should be doing that out there. You know, checking in on everyone.
That is definitely a part of the tools to make folks successful. You know, is checking in with them, you know, finding out what's important to them, finding out how they're doing. We used to, at my old company, we used to have their PTO where they could call whatever they needed. Like, we didn't even ask, right? Like, that was what their time was for. They could do whatever they wanted. And if it wasn't calling sick day, it was like, I'm using my PTO. That's what personal time, right? It doesn't matter what it is.
Yep.
And then they had their vacation days. So two separate things, right? As well as we let them vote on what they wanted to do when it came to outings, because we do our best. We were a smaller group of 20, but we did our best to find out, well, what do you want to do? What do you, this quarter, like if we do an outing or this holiday event, and get their feedback on it, because that's important. You know, what good is it? And sometimes they're like, we just want the gift card. We don't want to get together. We're like, okay,
you know what they want.
We don't want
what they want. So you know, it's funny that you say that, because last Christmas we actually changed with the family. We're like, hey, let's just do, you know, let's give each other a budget and just tell each other what we want, and let's do like a secret Santa thing
and not guess.
All got what we wanted.
That's awesome.
And we didn't have to spend on everyone.
All this money.
Like, I got that person, but I got, I mean, it can be one big gift, or it can, but we all got what we wanted, versus getting something where you're just like awkward and you're just looking at it like
thanks.
That has to be hard. You know, like we always say we're gonna do that, and it doesn't always work out, because then you want to, oh, I found this, I really want to give it to this person. Yeah. You know, did you have any of that happen, Xochitl?
Yeah, I mean, or like or the regifting. It's like, oh great. You know, that's where the acting comes out. It's like,
you're like, don't tell anybody that this was a regift. Oops.
Exactly.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, but going back to giving them what they want. What did they want? What, you know, what will help you guys, you know, and just making everyone just feel valued. So
there was this gentleman that I'm going to give a shout out to Becca, but she posted or shared this. His name is Jude from Flamingo. Let me see, is it sharing? But I thought this was quite ironic. He talks about it, about mental health and you know, making things good for your employees. But this image right here about the manager's day, I think it's so true, right? Like, you know, it is 100%. Let me see if
we have to. Sometimes we, you know, have to take
Flamingo. Flamingo is the company, but I think this is very cool. Like, this is how we all start out in multi. It doesn't matter if you're on site or not.
I mean, sometimes from like day one, you know.
And as a supplier, if you run into a property manager or somebody that's having a shitty day, and you get them at, you know, the point in time in their day that they just come at you, wow, you know, you absorb all that. You get to take, and that sucks. So mental health is not just. It's
I learned to shake it off most of the time.
It's not just for me. I want it for everybody around me. I don't want to unload on someone that doesn't deserve that, right? Like that, you know, the poor kid that, you know, I don't know, like who it just happens by and helps me, and I don't like the way I don't know, right? Like or somebody calls you at a moment in time where you're just like, be aware, and that's why therapy and mental health and all this and everything that we're talking about is good to help you not take that energy out and redirect it onto somebody who doesn't deserve that.
I think to add, I'm sorry, Xochitl, I don't want to forget this point. So to add to that, I know you, me, Xochitl, Deb, we're talking about our friend Dusty. Shout out to Dusty. But one super important thing that I will never forget from our training with him was always assume positive intent, which is kind of along the same lines as seek to understand.
Yes.
I feel like those kind of go hand in hand, but you never know what somebody else is going through when you're talking to them. And they may be letting you have it, or you may be letting somebody else have it. And because, you're kind of just projecting your frustrations or anxiety.
Yeah.
But that's why that somebody's just having a hard
positive time. Always say it again, Dusty's
assume positive intent.
Assume positive intent or seek to understand, whichever works. Just don't immediately think that this is intentional. I still have to check myself all the time. Like, hey, it's not about you, Kimberly. It's not about you, Kimberly. It's not about you, Kimberly. I tell that to myself all the time. Thanks to a good friend of mine who had to remind me for about 15 years.
No, I was just gonna say, Dana Duckworth, with our company in Denver, love her so much. She's always supporting us on here. She actually advised us as a group. Sometimes she gets us together, and this is what we talk about: mental health, and how can we reach out and help you guys. She says have a popsicle moment. Popsicle moment can be so many things. It can say it can be literal and like go get yourself a popsicle and just sit there and enjoy the popsicle, or it can be anything. Just go somewhere and distract yourself, or if you're working on site and maybe someone's getting to you, do the wrestling, tag, tap your friend.
Do some shaking, some dancing.
Like it's your turn because, and again, not to say I'm going to lose it on the person, but you don't want to show, that those emotions, you want to just take that moment. And then come back to it. And come back with a solution versus
a deep breath. Some sort of there's so many different techniques on Google now. This is apparently one of them that just to reset the energy. There are so many different things. Go look them up. Whatever works for you, go do it. We encourage you to go do it because we absolutely don't want anyone to get to the point where they just take something out on someone else. As well as you need to know how to process whatever it is that you're feeling or going through. Like you have to be able to process it. And I'm so grateful that you ladies are on here talking about this with me and being, that we're bringing this up. We're devoted to making sure that others that are in our industry and are coming in or coming up, that they understand that, they can have these conversations, if they don't feel like they're surrounded by somebody they can reach out to us. We absolutely want you
I love sharing like memes, like
for sure.
The one that you just shared about the industry and stuff. Sometimes we have to just sit back and just laugh and say, that was a tough day, but in reality,
100%. So with that, I do want to make sure that you guys know, this is the link that you can go and click on to watch the replay. You can also download. There's some resources on there that are free that you can download, as well as if you'd like to be a guest, we'd love for you. You can reach out. You can set a time on the calendar, or if you got questions, you can go to this link, or you can just email us at beonindustrylive@gmail.com. And we'd love to answer any questions you have, so you can be on with us. I think we're going to wrap up. And you guys, ladies, have anything else that you want to make sure that we tell our audience before we go?
Just, feel free to engage with us. We want to hear from you.
Ask questions.
Ask questions. If maybe there's something that you're going through, or
Yeah.
you know, do it. Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Hop on this call and
Yeah.
we'll have a chat.
We're gonna we did get a question last week from our live that we're gonna apply to the generations conversation, generationally hiring. Carla, I might have said
Yes.
that wrong, right? Did I say it right? I don't know.
Generational hiring.
There we go. Next Tuesday, that's what we're gonna be talking about, and we're gonna share. I'm going to post a poll to find out what everyone has learned from a generation, what they've learned from which generation. So, and I'm sure there's multiple. So until next Tuesday, remember, sharing is caring, and hashtag mean people suck. Bye, ladies. Carla, did you freeze on us? She froze. We love you, Carla. Bye, everyone.